Hello and welcome to Monday's programme.
Your headlines tonight. An inquest finds that a Bristol woman died from blast injuries in a house explosion.
Is the country's oldest flower show wilting? We hear from the organisers in Taunton who fear this year could be the last.
Freedom of the borough. Why Cheltenham's greatest manager has earned the town's highest honour.
Hedgerows and hard truths. Poet and campaigner Louisa Adjoa Parker on her love of the West Country and her activism through words.
You know, there's perhaps a lot of stereotypes and myths about people of different ethnic groups, and I think really the way forward is just to have more open, honest conversations.
A very good evening. Welcome to the programme. The graphic details of how a woman was killed in an explosion at her home in Bristol were read out in a coroner's court today. 35-year-old Jo Shaw died from what was described as penetrating fragmentation blast injuries to her chest and pelvis.
Avon and Somerset police are treating the cause of the explosion on May the 3rd as deliberate. Her former partner Ryan Kelly suffered fatal injuries in the blast. Robert Murphy has sent this report from Avon Coroner's Court.
Yes, Jo Shaw has been described previously by her family as someone who brought warmth, kindness and strength to the countless people that she's met. And now you may recall that she was one of two people who died in the blast in Frenchay earlier this month. Today her inquest was opened and adjourned here at Avon Coroner's Court. These hearings are usually extremely short, procedural in nature, and this was exactly that before it was adjourned to a later date. The assistant coroner said that Jo Shaw, who was a 35-year-old single woman from Frenchay, died at the house where she lived in Sterncourt Road on Sunday, May the 3rd. She was declared dead at 7 in the morning. Now, the Home Office pathologist proposed the cause of death as being penetrating fragmentation blast injuries. And the coroner formally adjourned the hearing for more information and for background material from the police, from the ambulance service and from Miss Shaw's own family. And a full inquest has been listed in August. Now, there was no mention today of Miss Shaw's former partner Ryan Kelly. The 41-year-old also died in that blast. Now, in the days after Jo's death, her family released a statement saying that Jo's child had suffered the unimaginable loss of their mummy in this tragedy. Joanne's love for her child were boundless. They were the centre of her world, the statement said. Joanne's actions were nothing short of heroic. She showed extraordinary strength, selflessness and love in the face of unimaginable fear, placing herself between danger and the lives of those she loved. Now, police have recorded Joanne's death as homicide. They say they're not looking for anyone else in connection with her death, and the inquest of her former partner Ryan Kelly will be held at this very court on Wednesday.
Robert Murphy with that report. Next tonight, a 19-year-old driver has been convicted of causing the death of a teenage motorcyclist near Weston-super-Mare. Kasper Stankovic from Congressbury was found guilty of causing the death of 18-year-old Alfie Gray by driving dangerously along the A370 in 2024. He'll be sentenced in July.
A new daily rail service linking Oxford, Swindon and Bristol for the first time in more than 20 years began today. The new Great Western Railway services will run every 2 hours from Monday to Saturday.
Children will be able to travel for free on buses in Bristol, South Gloucestershire and Bath and North East Somerset during school holidays for the next 3 years. The Kids Go Free scheme was launched last summer across the West of England Combined Authority. It will continue until 2029.
A transit van linked to fly tipping incidents across Bristol's been seized and crushed. People reported the van to the council after it dumped waste in Hengrove, Brislington, Hartcliffe and Stockwood. Bristol City Council said it could not confirm who owned the vehicle.
Now, it's the oldest flower show in the country, but now its future is in danger because of rising costs.
In 5 years' time, the Taunton Flower Show is due to celebrate its 200th birthday. This year's show in August, though, could be its last. I spoke a little earlier to Becky Fox, the show's manager, and asked her what challenges it's facing.
Like every show, we're facing, the increased costs of putting on the show and the decrease in visitor numbers and in sponsorship for the show.
So how worried are you that this is going to be the last one?
We are quite apprehensive that it will be the last one, but we have had some support from Somerset Council and from increased sponsorship from private businesses around the area. So we're really looking forward to this show and hopeful that it can continue beyond.
So what's your message to people? I mean, is it just down to the general public to, if they like it, use it and turn up, or is it more complex than that?
I mean, I think, for us, visitor numbers is a massive part of our income. And what I would say is if you've never given us a go, just come and see, because we are more than just a flower show. Horticulture is our heart, but it's a real family event and there's stuff for everyone and lots of children's activities. So, I would encourage people to just really come and give us a go this year.
There are other shows. I mean, we look at the RHS. They're actually having a brand new one in Badminton. There's definitely an appetite. I mean, we're preaching to the converted because I'm an absolute complete fan. What do you think it is that Taunton's missing? Is it possibly Vivery Park and the accessibility? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, we have looked at putting it in other places, but really, Vivery Park is the heart of the flower show, and I can't see it putting it in other places. I think probably, it's a very busy season. There are lots of events going on, and maybe, floral traders aren't choosing us, or people are spending their money elsewhere. People are spending their money wisely, and I would just say, give us a go and invest with us this year and see what you think.
Well, in that case, just remind everybody when they can come and enjoy the show this year.
So the show is Friday the 7th and Saturday the 8th in Vivery Park in Taunton.
Brilliant. Becky, thank you so much. I will see you then. My arms will be full of plants, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Excellent news. Hope to see you then.
She definitely will.
I'm not sure whether you mentioned whether or not you like flower shows.
Did I not?
It didn't quite come across.
So unclear, isn't it? Yeah. I really hope they make it to 200 and well beyond as well. Yeah. I mean, it's very loved, but tell us what you think. What more can they do, do you think? It's a classic use it or lose it job.
Yeah, and it's such a colourful event. I just love it.
They always are, yeah. I don't know. Let us know. Right, next tonight, the football manager receiving a massive personal accolade from his hometown of Cheltenham this evening.
Yes, the Cheltenham town boss, Steve Cottrell, is in his second stint at the club and saved them from relegation this season. And Ross is live at Cheltenham Town Hall for us this evening. Ross, this is going to be a very special night, isn't it, for a much-loved character there?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of characters and in terms of people that Cheltenham Town respect and they love, none come bigger than Steve Cottrell. Tonight, as you say, huge night for him. He will be awarded the Freedom of the Borough, which is the highest award that this council and this region offers. And I'm delighted to say, with the preparations taking place behind me, 400 people going to be here. And so are you, Steve. Absolute pleasure to see you today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Talk me through your emotions then. How do you feel?
Well, I don't quite know yet because we haven't been through it, but very, very proud, honoured. Some people have said to me that it's 20 years too late, but I've answered that back with better late than never. So I'm really looking forward to the evening, and can't thank everybody enough that put me forward, signed the petition. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it tonight.
And your love affair with this club, you talk there, maybe 20 years too late with the award, but actually it goes back nearly 30 years since you first took over here.
Yeah.
To be getting this award now, and reflecting on all that time, how do you feel? 3 promotions as well as a manager with them.
Yeah, I mean, with it being your hometown, it's, it's really, really important. And it's been important to me. I grew up sort of 5 or 10 minutes down the road from the ground. Ended up being in the youth team, the reserve team, the first team. So, you know, with playing and managing them, coming back obviously has been really, really special. This time around, it was special first time, but, you know, coming back into the club in October, it wasn't looking good. And everybody sort of said to me, do you think you'll ruin your legacy? And I said, well, I'll park that over there because I don't think that will ever be ruined. You know, first time at Wembley, first time in the Football League, you know, having an academy, you know, young lads can aspire to be professional footballers, which I never had growing up as a young boy in Cheltenham. So I'm really, really proud of all of that. And if people get success out of that in the future, I'm absolutely delighted for them.
Yeah, Steve, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for your time. Best of luck for this evening. I know you'll be nervous, but yeah, I hope it all goes well. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks.
A really, really big honour for Steve Cottrell here, and other people here in Cheltenham as well tonight are receiving special honours, but the main man, he's incredibly excited for it.
Ross Arnott, thank you very much. And thank you to Steve Cottrell as well for taking the time to join us. There's a man who's passionate about his job, isn't he?
Yeah, on his special day, but his fans are passionate about him as well. I think they really pushed for that to happen, didn't they? Yeah, it's so nice.
Right, you're watching ITV News in the West Country with Alex and Bob.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. It's Monday evening, the week's underway, still ahead before 6:30. Charlie's here in the studio with the weather, and you've got some good news later in the week, haven't you?
Later in the week, I do. Before this massive area of rain works its way through, which I suppose a lot of us may well be crying out for. But yes, later in the week, a bit more heat finally returning.
Thank you, Charlie. See you later on. The ITV News continues after us as well with the national and international stories at 6:30. With the details, here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up at 6:30, the Prime Minister stands firm as the country gears up for a by-election which could define the country's leadership. Sir Keir Starmer said he's focused on the job as Andy Burnham is set to take on the Labour candidacy for the Makerfield by-election. Win that, and Burnham could well be on the way to number 10. We'll have all the analysis from Westminster. Also on the programme, cute but unwanted, why a booming feline population has left catteries overwhelmed. And how the golfer Aaron Rai defied the odds to win his first ever major title. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Yeah, it's 12 minutes past 6. That is all coming your way. But first, health visitors. They are trained nurses or midwives, aren't they? And they help to keep children under 5 safe by spotting problems early and supporting families.
Yes, but with staff numbers down nearly 45% in a decade, an ITV investigation has found that some children aren't being seen at all during online appointments.
Yeah, it's led to warnings that families won't get the care they need without proper funding. Catherine Walker has this exclusive report.
Have you noticed any changes in her over the last few weeks?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a routine home visit for health visitor Sally. She's checking in on Amy and baby Robin, who had early problems feeding.
It's definitely helped me. This is my first baby. So yeah, sometimes it can feel like you're really out of your depth. Robin was kind of really difficult to begin with because she was smaller. I had some trouble breastfeeding, and getting the support from Sally to kind of continue that was really important to me. But again,
health visitors like Sally are qualified nurses or midwives with expertise in child development and safeguarding.
Part of our role is to look after the whole family. So it's nice to come out to the homes and meet dad, meet siblings, see what kind of home environment that they've got. For us to do a good assessment of what our families need, we need to be able to see more than just a phone call. I think some of our skills are searching for minute little safety risks, and I think it keeps them safe to be seen.
From late pregnancy until a child is 2, families in England should receive 5 health visitor appointments. But the most recent figures analysed by ITV News show this isn't always the case. In 2024 to 2025, more than 7,500 babies in the southwest didn't receive their new birth visit before they were 2 weeks old. That's 1 in 6 newborns. In the same year, over 6,000 toddlers weren't seen for their 2.5-year checkup. That's 1 in 8 children. Even for those families who are seen, some appointments are taking place over the phone or online. At this drop-in playgroup, many parents told us they're worried about the lack of contact.
I was quite surprised. I expected it to be in person, so when it was virtual, it didn't feel right. So he was having a nap at the time, and they just took my word for that. I mean, there's some things that can be virtual. I just find that that's not one of them.
Mum Steph, who has a history of postnatal depression, was surprised to find one of her appointments was online.
At any point did the health visitor take a look at your daughter?
I mean, Livy wouldn't sit still, so she wasn't really on screen at all. It worries me massively because I don't want to miss something with her development. I'm not sure how you'd gauge really how a new mum was doing, a new dad was doing, and how a baby was doing virtually. I don't know how you'd grasp that.
With staff numbers down around 45% in the last decade, the current service is being blamed on a severe staff shortage.
So in the southwest of England, what health visitors are telling us, they're facing increased demand for health visiting support alongside workforce shortages. So what that means to families is that the support they get really depends on where they live. It's left to chance. But what we now need is for the government to fund it properly, to give us enough health visitors to deliver it, so that we can get on with the important work of supporting families.
Under government guidelines, health visitor appointments should ideally be in person. But concerns remain that checkups like this, that meant so much to Amy and Robin, will be the exception rather than the norm. Catherine Walker, ITV News.
Well, we have a statement in response to Catherine's investigation. The Department of Health told us, following a decade of underinvestment, this government is committed to strengthening health visiting services so that every family has access to the support they need. It goes on, as we shift care from hospital to community, health visitors will play an important role, including by building on their trusted relationships to help protect more children through vaccinations. In February, it says, we refreshed our Healthy Child programme guidance, which included clarifying that all 5 health and development reviews should be face-to-face and in person.
Right, I fancy doing some sport news now.
Okay,
you up for that?
Go ahead.
OK, I'll lead the way. Some rugby news to start you off with. And Bath returned to form this weekend with a crushing 11-try win over Newcastle to narrow the gap at the top of the Prem. Henry Arundel scored 4 and Santiago Guerreras crossed twice to help the side to an impressive 69-12 victory. Bath are now just 4 points shy of the league leaders Northampton.
Not such good weekend for Gloucester, though, who dropped to 9th in the table after losing to Saracens. Going into the second half, 18-0 down, Will Joseph scored 2 late tries to narrow the gap, but it wasn't enough. Against a dominant home side, the final score 30 points to 14.
If you were watching the FA Cup final over the weekend, this was the highlight. It was the goal that won it for Manchester City, scored by Anton Semenyo, formerly of Bristol City. Now, what you may not know about this, though, is his other roots in our region. Here he is scoring for Bath City on loan in 2018, where they have fond memories of the striker.
It's such a fairy tale. But I have to say, the boy deserves everything he gets. A great finish and a great goal. He came to us, he didn't get in the team straight away, by the way. He had to earn that and get himself in there. He scored a hat-trick against Welton in the Somerset Premier Cup. And that sort of gave me that indication, that confidence to throw him in, and the rest is history. He took the league by storm, and yeah, he deserves everything he's get. I'm absolutely delighted for him, I really am, and everything that's coming to him at the moment.
Great to look back at that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love anything.
But that was quite a goal in the FA Cup final. Yeah. Amazing. Right. Now, for the latest in our series, My West Country, where we hear from people across the region about their favourite places and what makes them so special to them.
Yes, it's the turn today of writer and poet Louisa Adjoa Parker, who lives in Somerset. She takes huge inspiration from the natural landscapes around her, as Louisa Britton's been finding out.
For writer and poet Louisa Adjoa Parker, the West Country has not only been a home for more than 4 decades, it's often a source of inspiration and solace. Now living in Somerset, she's also lived in Dorset and grew up in rural Devon. I met up with her for a walk at Bincan Beaches Nature Reserve in Crewkerne.
You moved to Devon when you were 12. Your mum didn't have a car. Walking was a big part of what you did in the countryside.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't always through choice at the time. You know, when you're a teenager, you don't necessarily want to sort of go for walks. But yeah, I used to walk a lot of, you know, walk to the beach and walk to catch buses and walk through the woods and out with my friends and along the river. And yeah, a lot of miles were covered. But yeah, it was really something that was sort of there, taken for granted, and I only really appreciated it when I got older, how beautiful, you know, the West Country landscape is, really.
And that relationship with the countryside and her work has evolved over the years.
When I first started writing, it was more writing about the kind of experience of being of mixed heritage, being a woman, being a single parent. I really wanted to tell those kind of hidden stories, really, of life in you know, the rural West Country. But then I sort of began thinking, it was a backdrop before, and then I sort of began thinking more about writing about the relationship directly with nature and the natural landscape. So I've become more of a nature writer, if you like, although I didn't used to think I could be, because I thought I'm not an expert, I'm not an academic, I don't know all the names or anything, but actually I think anyone can be a nature writer. You just need to love nature, love where you live, and just want to, you know, write about your relationship with it, and it's, yeah, simple as that.
Louisa's poetry has been widely published, and she has performed her work in the southwest and beyond.
Land, real and imagined. Yes, I am from here, really, but also from there. My feet connect me to this piece of earth which rolls away in green waves. This piece of earth inhabited by people who do not look like me. This is how I wear my skin. It tells the story of another place, an imagined country with dusty roads, hot nights, which I have yet to see. We all lean into the dark, towards our ancestors who lean towards us with bent spines, trying to tell us where we are from, where we are going.
Many of Louisa's works talk about the racism she says she's experienced, and she's passionate about telling the stories of marginalised voices.
I mean, I've been here nearly 41 years now, in the West Country as a whole, and I think things have changed quite a lot. And when I first moved to the 1980s, it was very monocultural. I didn't see anybody who wasn't white for about 3 years, I think, apart from my siblings. So that was quite a strange experience. And you know, I did experience a lot of racism, sort of in Torbay, and I think in places like the countryside, often these things don't really get talked about enough, and people get a bit uncomfortable and don't know how to address it or how to talk to people, or you know, there's perhaps a lot of stereotypes and myths about people of different ethnic groups. And I think really the way forward is just to have more open, honest conversations. I think that's part of what I do with my poetry, is to sort of try and encourage those conversations and those connections between different people.
And just as the landscape has shaped her writing, Louisa hopes her work can help others appreciate the beauty and diversity of the West Country. Louisa Britton, ITV News.
That was lovely, wasn't it?
Nature and poetry. What more can you want?
It's ticking all the boxes for me, but really interesting discussion about the racism she faced growing up as well here in the West Country.
Yeah, I love that line, this is how I wear my skin. Yeah. That's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, lovely. Right, let's have a look at the weather now, because Charlie is here, and I think we've got to kind of take the rough before the smooth. Is that right?
It's a nice way of putting it. Yes, it was much better weather in that story, wasn't it? But yes, today has got off to mildish start, fair amount of cloud, increasing amounts of wet weather working in from the west, because we've got this big area of low pressure and several fronts working through. Now, a lot of this rain that we see later on today will probably be quite welcome. We've not seen a great deal over the last few weeks, give and take, but yeah, that could be pretty useful. Ahead of that today, our camera operator Chloe was out just outside Portishead, Rodmore Gardens. Now, temperatures today would be the other thing you perhaps didn't notice so much of, only up to about 12 or 13 degrees. So once again, below average and feeling it really. But didn't stop the bees and other pollinators having a wonderful time with all the gorgeous flowers that are available there. And even if you look closely, although the satellite picture painted a little bit of a cloudy picture, there are just a couple of glimmers of blue there as well. But that might be something we don't see a huge amount of until, well, maybe later in the week. But yeah, gorgeous spot that.
I feel like you're setting us up, though, to say it is going to be better later in the week, maybe Thursday?
It is going to be better later in the week,
so.
Maybe from Thursday. But yes, initially the temperatures have been less than, well, brilliant, shall we say. But they're going to pick up, as will the weather as we work our way through the coming few days. So Finally, as we saw a few weeks ago, we're going to see temperatures quite happily into the low 20s as we work our way through towards the end of this week. And of course, then it's the bank holiday weekend. So it looks like it probably will stay warm. I think the start of the long weekend probably be okay. Whether that lasts, well, we'll have a look at that a little bit later this week.
Midday Mayan temples, followed by sunny afternoons on the sand. TUI sponsors ITV West Country weather.
Well, as we work our way through the rest of this week, then we are sticking with a little bit of a kind of cloudy, damp and cool feeling theme for the next couple of days. But from Thursday, it does look as if we'll be in for something a little bit drier, brighter and in time something a little bit warmer as well. But not before we see various fronts working through. This one tonight will give us a bit of a soaking. Then it's more kind of blustery showers that follow, I think, for the next couple of days. But eyes down towards the bottom of your screen, this area of high pressure here looks like it should work its way in time for the weekend. Perhaps the end of the week, bringing us something a little bit drier and warmer. But pretty quickly as we work our way through this evening, we'll see cloudy, wet weather working in, some strong winds as well. Not only persistent, but as it moves through, some pretty heavy bursts of rain around as well. Just about clearing parts of Somerset and Dorset towards dawn, leaving a bit of low cloud there. Temperatures, meanwhile, staying in double figures. And what's left of that rain clears pretty quickly tomorrow morning. Then we should have a window of something a bit drier and brighter as that cloud lifts, and then showers follow pretty hot on the heels, really, for the rest of the day. But there'll be a lot more sunshine between. The showers do want to line up somewhat, though, so if you're trapped underneath that, it may end up being a bit of a deluge after deluge. But a brighter day and a bit of a warmer day for the vast majority of us, despite those showers. 16 or so Celsius, much more like it. A few more showers on Wednesday, not as many, and then towards the end of the week as that high pressure builds in, some drier, brighter skies and some much higher temperatures into the low 20s. That will feel quite a bit warmer than we're used to for the last couple of weeks. But while there are showers around, as Ansell looking back from Cud Hill in Gloucestershire, spectacular views, yes, but you can see the reduction in visibility from where the heavy rain and hail is falling out of those heavy showers.
TUI sponsors ITV West Country weather.
Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
Now, our changeable theme to our weather is keeping what little pollen there is at bay anyway, so it's pretty good news for hay fever sufferers, low as we head through the rest of this week. It's only really very early types of grass pollen that will start to work through.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you very much. We'll look forward to that warm weather.
I know, later this week. Cannot wait, especially for a bank holiday.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought it?
It just never happens, does it? Right, well, that is it from us for now. I'll be back with the late news for you at 10:30.
But after the break, the ITV News continues with Mary Nightingale. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.